Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Teaching Tuesday. I am excited to be on here tonight. First and foremost, if y'all don't know me, I am Shalina Cooper. Listen, I'm Shalina Cooper. And that's all we're gonna say. That's all I am. I'm Shalina Cooper today. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I am tired, but I'm excited to be on here today because I'm going to share with y'all a little bit that I shared on Sunday. And I'm gonna try to take my time. Y'all know I get super duper excited, but we're gonna just go ahead and get into it. So lately I just been telling God that I want more of him. That I want to go deeper in him. And by telling him that, there's a purging and there's a purifying that must happen when you go deeper in God, because he steady wants to remove things that are unlike him out of you. And it's not that you do anything wrong. It's not that, you out here being a whole heathen. No, but there's still some things on the inside of you that has to go. None of us are perfect. This is a continued journey. Like you can never arrive when serving God. Like this is always, you're continuously improving, you're continuously allowing yourself to be shed of the things that are unlike God. So I've been in a space lately, like, God, like I just need more of you. Like I just want my ways to be pleasing of you. I want you to transform my mind so that I know the will that you have for my life. I want to be able to, when I delight myself in him, that he'll give me the desires of my heart. And because I delight myself in him, those desires will line up with his will. And I don't have to worry about being disappointed because what I want isn't lining up in his will, but the things that I want are going to be pleasing unto God. So as I'm telling God, like, I want this purging, I want this purification. I know it's still some things that I need to work on personally. Like when you ask for it, like what I tell him Sunday, when you begin to ask for that thing, it's cool. It's cool. Because you like, all right, God, I'm be cleansed, I'm be free, I'm be light. But baby, when he starts that process, sometimes you want to back out the door. You want to go back and be like, you know what, God, maybe I don't want to go through this. Because when you begin purging and uprooting some things, like, it's not an easy process. It's not a fun process. It's not. It can be fulfilling towards the end, but it's just it feels like it's a loss. And when I'm telling God, like, man, maybe I was just playing. Maybe I was just kidding. Maybe I don't want to go through this process because I was cool. I was cool. Lord, I want for the streets. I want bad. Like I still served you. I just wanted more, but maybe I don't, because I don't want to go through this process. But one thing that God spoke to me, he was like, I know it's heavy. I know it hurts. I know that it's very uncomfortable, but it is necessary in order for you to go to the next level. So I'm like, okay, God. So then he spoke, he was just like, a pruned tree is still a planted tree. So when you think about a prune tree in the Bible, it says that we must go through a pruning. We must go through where he cuts us back, where he brings us back some. We got to cut off some branches. And when you go through that pruning process, sometimes it does feel like a loss. But at the end of the day, when they're cutting off those branches that don't mean no good, those branches that could spread infection or whatever it is, it feels like you're losing a part of you. It feels like you work so hard to get to this place. You think about a tree that grows from a seed. Like it takes trees, sometimes hundreds of years to get to this mature status. I worked so hard to get to this place. I worked so many years to get to this place, and now you want to cut me back. Now you want to start removing the things that I worked so hard for. But when he talks about the pruning process, he says, I prune you back so you can produce produce more. And it doesn't seem like that at first, because it's like, God, I worked so hard. Do you know how long it took me to get to this level? Do you know how many battles I had to fight? How many seasons I had to go through? Think about how many seasons a tree has to go through to get to its maturity level. God, how many seasons I had to go through as a person in order to get to this place. And now you want to cut me back? And we get in our feelings at that point, not realizing that, okay, there is so much more to come. Yeah, we were producing good, but there is so much more to come. And because we don't see that more right now, we see that loss. Sometimes we get out of the will of God. Sometimes we step out of faith. Sometimes we step out of his will because we can't see past our now. We can't see past our now. But we have to remember the promise that God has given us. And that is what we stand on during the process. You stand on that, no matter what you're lost, no matter how empty you get, no matter how desolate you feel. You stand on the process as God begins to mature you once more, and as he begins to provide you with more. So when we talk about that as a pruned tree is still a planted tree, you still have to stand still, flat-footed and unmovable in the word of God. You have to stay flat-footed, unmovable on his promises. This isn't the time to choose the wide road of destruction. This isn't the time to go out and start experimenting with things that God has already removed out of your life. And I think sometimes that is where we get to this empty place, and we want to start filling it with things that are unlike God, just so we don't feel empty. But God gets us to a place that where we're empty so he can fill us, so that he can fill us, so that he can fill us. He's not trying to fill us with any distractions. He's not trying to fill us with any chaos. He's not trying to fill us with any confusion. That's the things that he was removing. But we get so anxious and we get so in a place like we want to hurry up that we end up filling ourselves back up with the very thing that he has removed. And now we got to go through the process all over again. And we can't be anxious. We can't be anxious as God begins to rebuild us brick by brick. And he gave me this analogy. Y'all know I love me a good analogy, baby. I love me a good analogy. But he gave me this analogy of where during this rebuilding process, you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined, because even when you look at a house being built, it's brick by brick. You see the foundation. They got to let the foundation dry, and then they'll start to put up the structure. And it's a while before you see that final vision that you seen at first. Because you have the vision at first and you be like, okay, this is what I want to go build. This is exactly what I want. You have mapped it out. You have literally laid the blueprint out of this is what I'm going to have before you even start. So God is giving you the blueprint. He's giving you this vision, and now it's time to go rebuild it. He has shown you who he has called you to be. He's shown you of what your expected end is. And now it's time to build into that person that he has called you to be. So it's like brick by brick. You lay the foundation. Couple days, you got to let the foundation, you got to let it dry. Like, you can't build on a wet foundation. So it is literally a process. Then you put up the structure, then you put up the drywall, and it takes step by step by step. It's a whole process that it takes before you end up to that vision. And God is just trying to tell us, like, I need for you to go through the process. I don't need for you to rush the process. I need for you to follow the process. I need for you to be patient, because when patience complete its work, this is scripture. When patience complete its work, you'll come out lacking nothing. So you don't want to rush through it and everything comes tumbling down. But God is going to make sure that he's going to perfect everything that is concerning you. But you have to be obedient to his instruction. When we look at Matthew 7 and 24. And it says, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on a solid rock. Though the rain comes, though the flood waters arise and the winds beat against the house, it will not collapse because it's built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and does not obey it is foolish. It like a person who builds a house on sand. When rains and floods come, the winds beat against the house and it collapses with a mighty crash. So you got to understand, like, God is speaking to you. He's talking to you. He's giving you specific instructions. He may not be giving you the entire plan at that moment, but he is literally giving you specific instructions, and you have to take those instructions step by step. Literally, you have to take those instructions step by step. You can't skip a step. You can't skip 3 or 4 steps so that you can hurry up and get to the end, because we are not in a season that we are going to allow storms to knock us down. We are not going to allow storms to make us collapse. But if we follow the instructions that God has given us to build, then when storms come, baby, we're going to be unmovable. We are going to be like a strong tower. Like nothing is going to be able to move us at all. But you have to follow the instructions that God has given you. For he knows the plans that are for you, the plans that are of good and not disaster, the plans that are going to bring you a future and a hope. Like he has all the answers. So we should be seeking him. We shouldn't be seeking opinions from everybody else. Now he will send you to ask people for wise counsel. But again, that is something that he is going to direct you to. That is somewhere where he is going to lead you. So again, you have to keep your ear to his lips to make sure that you're doing exactly what he has called you to do. Exactly what he has called you to do. Because in this rebuilding state, that's why this channel is called The Rebuild. It's called The Rebuild because God has to tear down some things in order to build back up. But he wants to build back up on the foundation that he created, not the foundation that we're creating on our own, but the foundation that he is creating, not the foundation that the world is telling you to build on, but he wants you to build on his foundation. So sometimes he has to tear down the way that the world has shaped you. He has to tear down how the world has put statistics on you, how the world has structured you, the thoughts that the world is giving you on what success looks like. He has to tear those down so that he can put you on the potter's wheel and make you into and mold you and shape you into who he has called you to be, who he wants you to be, who he has purposed you to be. Not who the world says you are, but who he has called you to be. And it's going to require a letting go. It is literally going to require a letting go, a releasing, something that is going to take you. It makes you feel. It makes you feel empty at first. It does. It makes you feel empty. It makes you feel lonely. It makes you feel like you're all by yourself. But that is not God's intention. His intention is that he fills you with everything that your heart desires because you're taking that time to delight yourself in him. So when he fills you up, it's everything that he has purposed for you. It's everything that he has prepared for you. You don't want to get to heaven and realize you didn't even scratch the surface of what he had waiting on you. So if he has to prune you back so you can produce more, yes, you are living good, but he says, I have my best waiting on you, then that is what you have to do. You have to wait on God. You have to wait on God. Wait on him. And as you begin to wait on God, he has gone before you and he has prepared this way for you. He is defending you. And even though the path looks so unfamiliar, it feels like you're blinded because I don't see the end to this thing. I know what you said. I know what you promised me, but it looks like I'm not even going to make it to this place. I'm tired of I'm tired of the trials. I'm tired of the storms. I'm tired of the suffering, but we have to realize that long suffering is a fruit of the spirit. But you're like, I'm tired, I'm sick of it. But I'm telling you, if you just endure, you'll reap if you don't faint. You will reap if you do not faint. So allow him to cut off the things that do not belong. Allow him to make room for the things that he's prepared for you, that you'll be able to maintain. Allow him to strip you of your old self so that you can walk in your new. The scripture says that our old wineskin cannot, new wine cannot be poured in an old wineskin. Why? Because when you pour wine into an old wineskin, the old wineskin can't handle it. It ends up bursting and wasting the new wine. So why would he pour something new into your old mindset? Why would he put something new into your old self, your arrogant self, your self that you didn't really glorify God in the things that he did, but you wanted self glorification? Why would he pour something new into that and you waste it? Allow him to create the new wineskin. Allow him to mold you. Allow him to shape you so that he can pour the new, so that you can walk in your new, so that you can walk in your next level. And I know it seems like it is taking forever, but when you think about when a caterpillar transitions into a butterfly and it goes into the little pupa, and sometimes it has to be hidden. Sometimes it hides itself with leaves. Sometimes it hides itself under a branch, and it goes into the little pupa thing, and it's there for, sometimes it can be weeks, sometimes it can be months as it's transitioning. And from the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like nothing is happening, but on the inside, it is so much happening for that caterpillar to transition into that butterfly. And as it begins to shed, so many different layers, it comes out as this beautiful butterfly. But you have to look at the butterfly. The butterfly is not weighted down. The butterfly is not heavy, but that butterfly is able to fly to the next level. That caterpillar had no ability to fly before transition. So as God is transitioning you to strip off the weight, to shed the different layers so that you can be free, so that you can carry the yoke that is light, allow him to carry you through the transitioning period. Allow him to carry you through the process. Allow him to carry you through the shedding. I know it seems like a loss, but when you come out on the other side, when you come out as that beautiful butterfly that is almost weightless so that you can soar to the next level, you are going to realize that the process was necessary. You are going to realize that, yes, I was pruned, but it was for my good. It all worked together for my good. It all worked together for my good. So I just wanted to encourage you guys that even though the pruning process seems horrible, the pruning process seems like you empty, the pruning process seems like you taking loss after loss after loss after loss, God has so much more waiting for you on the other side. He has so much more waiting for you during this transition so that you can yield more fruit and that you can yield a quality of life that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. He is going to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. I need for you to, like I told him Sunday, sometimes I grieve the Shalina before cancer because she looked different. She could do anything that she wanted to. I just yeah. There's days that I miss her, and days that I wish I was still her. And God reminded me, like, that one couldn't handle what I was pouring into this one. She wouldn't understand it. She didn't have the mindset to understand what was going on, and she would have fumbled everything that I would have gave her. So I had to allow you to shed some things that were not. I had to shed your mindset, to transform your mind. I had to shed pride. He had shed these different things in order for me to receive the things that he has for me now and the things that are to come. because that girl, that who knows what that girl would have done. So I understand that sometimes we grieve who we used to be in the transition process, but I promise you that when you come out and God begins to allow you to soar to the next level, you are going to be grateful for her or him. You're going to be grateful, but you are going to be so thankful for who God has created you to be, who God is calling you to be, because it's going to be so much greater. It's going to be so much greater, y'all. It's going to be so much greater. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm so grateful that y'all tuned in today. And honestly, I promise you, like, the Shalina before cancer wouldn't be able to do this with y'all today. I look at some of my old videos and I'm like, girl, you were good, but this is God. This is God. So I love God. I love him. I love him. I love him with everything that I have in me. I really, really do. And I love y'all. So y'all make sure y'all stay planted. No matter what God is carrying you through, you stay planted. You stay unmovable. Okay. You stand flat footed and you stand in his word. All right. So I see y'all in 2 Tuesdays. I love you guys.